walk faster, you can cut through, and
Does Way Mountain want to do a quick audio test real quick again?
Terrible Shinjia, I can hear you pretty good.
we're ready. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you all for coming. Let's see. First some news. I'll share with you some news. There's a text from Canada. Derek, Canada.
Đến từ ông
He's the
Derek ở
voice
Canada.
of the YouTube questions and answers.
Ok, chúng ta sẽ nghe YouTube.
He says, you said you were protecting California from COVID. It's working. He never believed. California and Canada have about the same population. Over Christmas, California averaged 45,000 new daily cases, where Canada averaged 7,500. Today, California is averaging 2,500, while Canada is 4,900. So it's the COVID situation here in California is improving drastically and steadily. Whereas the rest of the country is ups and down, we expect to be able to go into the further declines. We're in now in the orange tier, which is a 50%
Coi như bây giờ là
capacity businesses, and we hope to continue to this trend, this downward trend, to reach the orange tier within a month. Okay, because we want to make sure that we suffered enough in California. We had to wait for December and January because of the political situation. We weren't sure who's going to win. But once the dust cleared up, it is clear that the decision was they wanted a change, because as long as there's no change, grain. We work in parallel with the government. We cannot go against it. Okay, so that's why. Thank you. Since January precisely, towards the latter part of January until today, we should be, if you go back to the numbers, should be seeing a clear decline of the infection rates, death rates, as well as ICU, whatever. So that is to tell you that our form of practices are meant to benefit others. And sometimes in this particular pandemic situation here, we couldn't stand by and let them destroy the whole world, especially our own backyard. So that's why we eventually had to intervene and at the same time mind our own business. This pandemic thing here, unfortunately, we're told by the experts that will be a way of life. It's caused by the flu virus. Luckily for us this time, as the flu virus is relatively easy to handle. Unlike, for example, the last virus that we conquered was the smallpox, which is much harder to deal with. But luckily, in the 18th century, a doctor discovered a way to deal with smallpox, and it worked very well. That's why in the early 20th century, the later part 20th century, we were able to eradicate the only virus so far in the history of mankind, the smallpox virus. 1980 was declared completely eradicated. Okay, but unfortunately, as soon as that virus was eradicated, another came to the surface. So that's a way of life. We have plenty of viruses and bacteria and microbes in our environment to continue to give us grief. There's nothing we can do about that. It's just a way of life. Okay. Unfortunately, with we often travel a lot nowadays, and therefore the spreading will be a lot faster, a lot more pervasive. So it's not much we can do about that. So this pandemic thing here, pretty soon, within a year or two, should be under control, should be back to normal. But there are more pandemics on the horizons. I'm pretty sure there's many more waiting to cause us a lot of problems. Okay, we've always been able to learn how to deal with it. Luckily, in December 2019, we had a member in Wuhan who got infected by the COVID-19, and they called me, and I was able to help them very quickly. Within 2 weeks, a 74-year-old man who has many illnesses recovered from the virus. He was hospitalized, and after that, in 2020 last year, the whole world was down with it. So anyway, we lucked out in that in the end of 2019, I had personal experience with it. I was able to help people recover. So that's why we were never worried about it. The difference is that not only are we more advanced meditation Chan practitioners be able to take care of ourselves, we also are able to help others as well. There's a young lady who came with us this weekend. What's her name? I don't even know her name. She's Chu Chao person. Anyone knows her name? Apple's a mom. Not this apple, the other apple. The Southern California apple.
Her name is Kelly.
Huh?
Her name is Kelly.
Kelly?
Yes.
Wow, that's a nice name. She here, can we bring her here so that everyone can see her and to know who we're talking about?
I think she's helping in the kitchen.
Bring her here for a few minutes, okay, to say hello. Okay. So this particular lady here used to come occasionally, and when she first came in 2020, she was always wearing a mask. You know, that's a smart thing to do. You go to a church; they're known to be places where you can get infected very easily. So she used to wear a mask, and of course, in our temple, you do as you please. We don't force you to do anything against your wish. But eventually, we spoke Dharma to her, and she was practicing meditation. And whereas since she decided to come regularly, we allow her in, and that helped her a steady practice. It would come practically every other day. Okay. And that's her right there. That's Kelly, right? Kelly. Okay, say hello to everyone, Kelly. You have see her? Come over here, Kelly, come here. This is so that people can see you from the camera. Huh? The camera. Is your camera here? Okay. Okay, there you go. That's Kelly. Okay. You're leaving too, huh? Today. Okay. Anyway, thank you. Anyway, are you okay? Có bình hoàng không? Are you have any problems with COVID-19?
Nói tiếng Việt đó trời.
Tiếng Việt được, nói tiếng Việt đây.
Bữa nay qua đây Sen Cô sẽ vui lắm, mừng dạ sợ lương. Cảm ơn Sen Cô sẽ mấy hàng sư cô thương để lắm cho cái mình cho ngọ. Mình nó đừng lắm. Nhà tôi thích vậy, cảm ơn nha. Bữa nay qua đây vui lắm, mừng lắm. Cảm ơn ngài Thánh Kiều. Ở đây cũng mạnh khỏe.
I'm very happy to visit San Jose, and everybody loved me so much. So thank you so much for your caring. I'm very, very happy.
Cô hiểu thương lắm, cảm ơn nó cho ngọ.
Take good care of me. She loves me so much. She gave me a warm blanket.
Thank you very much.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. So anyway, you can tell she's very aware of what's going on. So anyway, she you can tell her to go help in the kitchen again. we need to eat lunch. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. But she used to come every day, and at first, when she first came, I was honestly I was a little bit worried because her samadhi level is pretty low. She cannot defend herself against a virus when she first came last year, and within 2-3 months, she started coming regularly, and that's when I was telling her during one of those lectures. I said, even people like you are able to protect yourself against the virus now because her samadhi level increased. Our Chan practice is predicated upon doing things to help you improve, increase your samadhi power. This is why you practice Chan. Chan is Mahayana training techniques, the main training techniques in Mahayana, the best training technique in Mahayana as far as I know, because that's the only school. The 5 schools of Mahayana is transmitted from China by our late teacher, Master YongHua, to this country, to the West. Is the only school that specializes in training people. The best way possible in Buddhism is through Chan meditation training. Okay, and my master, Master YongHua, was an expert at it. He's a Weiyang patriarch. So I was lucky to learn a little bit from him. His disciples learned a lot more from him than I did. But our training is different. His training is people similar to what we're doing for you right now. Actually, it's not quite the same, but a little bit less. Our training right now is based on the way he trained his disciples, but a little bit more in the sense that I'm more impatient than he was. Master YongHua, my late Chinese teacher, is more like a hands-off person. He's going to explain to you and let you do it your way. My style is slightly different. It's because I don't have as much time as he does, as he did. I'm very lazy and impatient, so I'm more interested in helping you improve quickly so that once there's enough of you who's competent, like at the level of Master Huineng's level. Master Huineng, the 6th patriarch, which we've been lecturing on every Sunday for the last 4 years. He left behind his wake around 22 eminent disciples, who then he sent to different corners of China to spread the Chan school. So I'm hoping to do the same thing. I'm hoping to train enough disciples that when they're ready, when they're competent enough, I'll be able to send them out, not throughout China, but throughout the world to propagate Chan properly. So that's why I'm impatient. I'm not like my late Chinese teacher who had a lot more things to do. He had to take care of translation, he had to take care of building temples, he had to take care of explaining sutras and training them, all those things. It's a lot of work. I don't have the same kind of workload. I'm only more keenly interested in training people, training those people so that's why we use the Chan Dharma door to train people quickly. That's the quickest way possible in Mahayana. I know all the other schools are all claiming that they're #1 school, they're supreme schools and all those things. What they don't have, that Chan school has, is Chan school has a track record of training people quickly. How so? As in the 6th Patriarch Sutra illustrates, Chan school, we have a training technique called sudden teaching. With that, we can train people a lot quicker than any other schools. Okay? The other schools don't have near the level of sophistication and sudden teaching in terms of complexities, in terms of tools, and as a result, the track record of the Chan school has always been, in the Chinese history of Mahayana, is that we produce many more eminent disciples than any other schools, by far. No comparison. So that's why in a Chan school, traditionally our interest, our focus has always been to help people develop samadhi power quickly. Okay, And when your samadhi power increases quickly, you are able to be healthier. That's one of the first basic foundations of life, isn't it? That your health. As you get older, you find out that money doesn't matter. Money cannot buy you health. So that's why to us, if you practice Chan meditation, one of the immediate effects you're going to see is improved health. Okay? And it's real appropriate for this during this COVID-19 pandemic here, is because if you have the Chan skills, you're able to defend yourself against COVID-19, period. Okay? And that's proven by that young lady there, Kelly, right there. So after a while, within a couple of months, because of necessity, we had to help her get to the level where, of course, we don't want her to bring the viruses back to her family. That would be disastrous. Or we weren't worried what she's going to bring to the temple, but so she had to improve herself so that she's not a carrier. Okay? If you have samadhi power, your chi flows a lot stronger, and that's how you get rid of this flu virus. If you talk to medical experts, they say that one of the things this flu virus does is to attack your lungs. It prevents you from breathing. As of 2 months ago, I had to help someone in New York as well. Got struck with the COVID-19 and couldn't breathe for weeks. Finally had to go to the ICU. And if you wait for too long, it's too late. The ventilators cannot help you. Okay? When it's too hard, when the lungs are taken over and there's too many of them, the lungs are hardened. The ventilator cannot move the lungs, help you breathe anymore. It's too late. Okay? And so it's miserable, of course. You ever had this COVID-19 here where you couldn't breathe. It's a lot of suffering. It's a lot of pain. And so anyway, 2 months ago, just as recently as 2 months ago, we helped someone recover from the ICU as well. Okay? So this is a case where at your level, you learn to defend yourself. At our level, we then have the skills to help you as well. Okay? So that's why my interest is to train you at all levels. Okay? To the highest level you can reach. YouTube has a question.
Yan Shong asks, when meditating, sometimes I feel a vibration all over my legs. My legs are not shaking, only the vibrations are felt strongly. When that feeling comes, I open my eyes and move my legs to stop the feeling of vibration. Would it be better to keep the eyes closed and continue meditation when the vibrations come on?
Who is this person who asked the question? Would be nice if you are new to us, or especially when you ask a question, to introduce yourself and give us a little bit of background. Why is that? Because if I know a little bit more about you, the answer is more catered towards you. If you give me an answer and hide your identity, I will also avoid answering, give you an answer that is more tailored towards you, because you wish to preserve your anonymity, and we respect that as well. So it's up to you, okay? In this particular case here, this vibration in the legs is a good thing. It's vibration. When you practice Chan meditation, is but a state. A state is something that happens to you, okay? Whatever happens during meditation, anything that happens is called a state of calm. When nothing happens, you feel so peaceful. That's also a state where your legs shake. That's not a state. Or in this case here, where the legs you feel vibrations, it's also another state. Okay, and the rule of thumb in Chan meditation is when you experience states, you don't react. You just observe it. Okay, just like watching a movie. You just continue to sit and watch and don't do anything. Don't get excited. Don't be worried in this case. This person is worried. So they say, oh, something is abnormal. Therefore, I need to move my leg to stop it. It's part of the Chan practice is fun. You discover things that your body does that you never aware it could do. Okay? So by itself, sometimes involuntarily, sometimes voluntarily. So it's part of the fun. So don't be afraid. And all of you, when you practice meditation, you will experience a lot of states. Don't be scared. Just watch it and do nothing. And if you're worried, don't do anything. Ask a question like this, okay? Then we can give you the answer to appease your fears, alleviate your concerns. There's nothing to worry about. When you meditate, these things will happen. And they're a good thing. This vibration, if I need to explain it to you, it's very simple. The vibration is due to the fact that when you meditate, your chi are flowing a lot more strongly. Okay? It's much stronger when you meditate than normal. Okay? And what happens is that I assume this person is sitting in full lotus. When we teach you sitting meditation, one of the better form, if not the best form of meditation training is by design, we make you fold your legs into your body so that it stops the blood flow on your legs. And that's an unnatural, totally unnatural way of sitting. However, once you develop this skill of sitting in full lotus, you find out that's the best sitting position, bar none. Anytime you sit, whether it's in the office, whether you're at home, or whether even like you sleeping. You can go that radical. You cross your legs. Your chi, the mere fact, by crossing your legs like that, and preferably in full lotus, your chi will flow much stronger immediately, very quickly. What does it do? So when you cross your legs like that, because you are not, regardless of your level, doesn't matter. My levels or your level, our blood are constricted. And therefore, because the blood is constricted, our chi naturally flows stronger to push through the obstructions. Okay, think of it as a river flowing. Okay, normally your chi in your body that circulates through your body is like the water in the river. Okay, a small river, if you will. It's too hard for you to imagine the big river. But think of it as a brook that flows, okay, meanders through. And it has its natural flow rate, okay, of a brook. Okay. Now, when you obstruct the flow with, let's say, with some rocks or something, with a dam or something, okay, then the water builds up, the water pressure builds up where it's obstructed. That's exactly the same thing. This is a genius of the Chan patriarchs, of the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas. They understand that. They understand that because the river flows, the river water flows naturally Wherever there is obstruction, it accumulates, it builds up the pressure against the obstruction. The same thing in our legs. When we obstruct the blood flowing freely in our legs because it has too many bends around the knee, bends about the ankle, bends around the hips, okay? Those are not natural positions for you, okay? And the blood has a hard time flowing at all levels. Your level is my level. We have the same body, similar body, okay? So blood has to flow freely a certain way. Now we obstruct the blood flow. So what it does naturally is build up the pressure, okay? And so the pressure builds up. Eventually, the water will break through by trickles, okay? More and more and more. And whenever the water breaks through, it's the equivalent of your chi breaking through your obstruction, where the bends there at the knees and the hips and the ankles. And those obstructions right there, okay, trust me, I have to explain this to you, for you Westerners, non-believers, by the way, scientific people, Westerners, so what proof do you have? It's easier to teach you about greed, how to make more money, how to cheat people, okay? And you believe it immediately without any facts, any proofs. But for us to tell you what's good for you, we need to prove it to you. It's good for you. You're too smart, okay? So anyway, so what happened is that I'm one of the few teachers who explain this to you, because I have many disciples, many students who are non-believers like you, well-educated people like you. So what happened is this chi breaks through where it's obstructed, the bends of the legs and the hips and the ankles. And whenever, if you bend your legs long enough, the blood will have a hard time flowing through it, through those bends, okay? So that's where the pressure builds up. And your body, okay? This is the genius of our Chan masters, the Chan patriarchs, and the Bodhisattvas, and the Buddhas. They realize that when that happens, your chi will naturally, your life force, energy, your sense of survival built in all of you, will naturally push harder through the bends. That's all. And because of that natural instinct of survival we all have, okay, we do not wish to have pain in the legs. Okay, we do not wish for it to continue to be stuck right there. So what happened is that that desire right there, I have pain here, it has to go away. That desire for the pain to go away, for the discomfort to go away, will increase your chi flow correspondingly. That's why. That's a genius behind it. And because of that, the blood will flow as some of it starts flowing. And that right there, that the fact that some of the blood start flowing, you have to still have blockages here, but some start flowing, this creates vibrations in your legs, right here. You see that? And eventually, the pressure here will build up to the point where this will flow through. So you have these blockages will be removed. Okay, that's the same principle that you will do when you have the COVID-19 in your lungs. Okay, for example, if I am in a coma for a long time, and the COVID-19 goes into my body and then builds up in the body and it builds up in my lungs, okay, and I wake up and I realize I can't breathe anymore, okay, because the COVID is hardening my lungs. So if I meditate, my chi will then, okay, this is where it's blocked, the most blocked in my body. So naturally, this is where the problem is. And And naturally, my instinct says, I want to breathe. I want this to go away. That thought right there will force the chi here to attack the blockages. This will happen to all of you, anywhere in your body where you have blockages, not just the blood, but any sickness is basically a blockage of your chi. At all ages, men and women, okay, adults or child, same thing, okay. Any sickness is a blockage of the chi. As soon as you're aware of it, your natural instinct says, I want this to go away. That is an attack on the blockages. How's that? So at my skill level, if you attack me like that, my lungs are blocked, I will be able to unblock it myself. But you can't. If your skill level is not high enough, you can't. That's why you're much better off meditating every day so that it does not have a chance to build up. Okay? That's all. That's why Chan meditation, let me stress to all of you again, Chan meditation is necessary, a necessary daily routine for you to maintain your physical health. You don't, you're making yourself vulnerable to illnesses. And you wait and you let the COVID-19 build up in your lungs to the point where you need to go to the ICU. Yeah, your chances of survival are much lessened. Okay? Whereas if you're able to meditate every day, it won't have a chance to build up. As soon as you go in, that young lady earlier, Kelly, okay, and she goes, as soon as she picks it up from her supermarket, from another church, from wherever, okay, it goes into her body, then she comes to the temple, her chi will flow stronger and gets rid of it right away. It doesn't have a chance to build up. That's why. You too.
Yun Zhong says, hello, Master. I am the Korean lady who you know. The Korean lady who serves tea to you sometimes.
Ah, okay. All right, thank you. Yeah, it's a good thing. So the vibration in her case is a very, very good thing. That is a good start. But eventually, it might become a lot stronger. It might become like quaking, which is another good state as well. Okay. Yes, a couple of questions here. White.
Hello, Master. As you know, I have been meditating for a few years now. I usually am not very sensitive to chi, and I don't really feel much before. But I think the last month or two, I started to have this experience when, as soon as I focus in meditation, like just now in the talk or doing ceremony, I have this kind of pressure on my forehead that's not really feeling good or bad, but it's kind of strong sensation, and then it's kind of strong that almost makes me feel a little bit dizzy. Anyway, just want to share because it's kind of new to me.
Okay, that's good. It's a good thing. It's a good state. The dizziness, okay? Kelly is back with the roses. Okay, thank you. It's the dizziness when you meditate is a good thing. It means that you have some blockages in your brains, in your head. Okay, and so it's working on that. Okay, it's typical. As your skills improves, you discover new problems. Okay, that now your chi is stronger, you're able to address all the issues. For example, let me see, if I see, I don't know, you can see this. You see, I've been meditating a lot, helping a lot of people, and there are a lot of sick people. I don't know, there's a show here. See the skin here? That's the toxins from my body. That means my liver is pretty bad shape. Okay? And unless you fix this, you're going to have serious liver problems. Right now, my liver has problems. Okay? And it's being fixed. That's why the toxins came up this way. You see that? So this is what happens, okay, to your body. Unless you get rid of the toxins in your body, you die sooner, that's all. Okay? When it builds up to the point where your body can no longer defend itself, okay, where the damage is not easily reversed, then you die. That's simple as that. So this is part of our work. When we help people, sometimes we have to pay. Okay, it's never free. Okay. Think about this. Not only do I fix my own problem, if I fix your problem, I have to take on your burden as well. Okay? You're not at that level yet, but you need to learn to defend yourself. You need to learn to take care of yourself. Because think about this. If you keep on letting those toxins build up in your body, okay, pretty soon, like that small brook there, eventually the chi cannot flow through anymore. The deposit is too thick. It cannot recover anymore. Now you need help. Okay? So it's much better you meditate every day and cleanse yourself every day. Okay? Moreover, not just cleansing yourself, but increase your skill so that the chi flows stronger, the water flows stronger, so it can get rid of the all built up sediments at the bottom right there that was built up before. Okay? So that's why not only do we want to meditate every day, we also want to improve periodically as well. Okay? It's a matter of life and death, folks. If you don't take care of your body, you think the doctor can fix it? They can't. They're good at cutting things off your body. They're not going to be able to fix your liver. Okay? If you meditate, you can fix your liver. If I couldn't do that, I'd be dead by now. Just simple as that. My master, Master YongHua, helped so many people by towards the end of his life. He's basically, his body is shot. Okay? The kidneys were gone. Okay? Had to go for dialysis every 2 days, 3 hours a day. Extreme pain, 3 hours on that machine. Anyway, another question here. Did you have a question? Anyone has a question here? Yes, Orange.
Yeah, Master. For someone new to Chan meditation, if they meditate every day, on average, how long do you think it's going to take them before they no longer feel the pain when they sit in the full lotus posture?
How long? Try never. I know I used to tell people, don't worry, it's going to go away. I was lying. When I first started, people didn't like it, so I had to lie to them. Okay. Now they're still around. I'm not afraid anymore. You can quit. It's too late now. They like it too much. Initially, when the legs pain will eventually go away. Okay. It comes sporadically, and it's part of the training. Is that you will have to face it at all levels, you have certain level of pains. But what happens is that you improve, you are not bothered by it as much anymore. To the point where, at my level, for example, if the pain comes, okay, I can make it go away, just like that. But I choose not to, because it's more gentle. Okay, and the pain basically is your karmic retribution. You can choose to get rid of it right away, like the skills we can develop over time, or we can choose to endure it. We prefer to endure it, okay, because that's how we pay off our debts. If we make it go away, all it does is it gets shelved, and then eventually we have to face it again. So we prefer to face it. Number one. Number two, there's plenty of good reasons for you to do that, because one is that it makes me more humble. I cannot claim I'm better than you because I still feel pain like you, although not as badly as you. I still feel the pain. Okay, meaning that I have a lot of karmic obstructions just like you as well. Okay, so that's life. We are not any better than you. Okay, we may have more skills than you in certain areas, but we still have, just like you, have to endure our karmic retributions. So to think we're better than you is nonsense. Okay, so it makes us humble, and many more reasons, of course, but. The one major reason I like to share with you is that when you face the pain right there, you learn a lot more about yourself. Okay? That's more involved. That's more advanced topic. Yes, you too.
Thiền asks, Master, do you think it is a good idea for people to start going out, having fun, like traveling, just because they have taken both COVID-19 shots already?
Well, it depends who you are. Our people, for example, I have no problems sending that Kelly right there. She can go anywhere. I don't even tell her stay away from churches or temples or enclosed spaces. I remember there's one person who told me recently. It's funny, and please don't take it literally. Don't take it as I'm encouraging to do this. But this person here who came to the temple to practice Chan meditation, okay, last year. He started coming more regularly, and he liked it. And then I started telling him, look at them, and I said, you guys have no problems dealing with COVID-19 yourself. You don't need us anymore. And somehow he believed them. So what happened is that his family member told me recently, she told me that he was talking his neighbor, okay, his neighbors, his house, all his neighbors around have COVID-19. They're all infected. And so he's talking to them, one after another, and he says, Master told me that I have nothing to worry about, so I don't even bother wearing a mask. I said, don't do that, it was only a sales pitch. But he's very gung-ho about it. He said, I'm not scared. Are you kidding me? I have Chan meditation, I'm not scared. So he was talking to all his neighbors, okay, and refused to wear a mask. And guess what? He's not even infected. And I thought, oh, thank you, God. Safe again by the good Lord. Okay? So this is what you're learning, the skill to take care of yourself. Not about us, it's about you. The patriarchs, The Bodhisattvas are always keen on teaching you and helping you develop skills to take care of yourself. And when you can take care of yourself, you can are actually helping your family. Okay? In what way? Think of the kids I see there who come to the temple. First of all, let me say this before I forget. When we bring the kids here, okay, it's very good for them. Will help them become stronger and grow healthier. For two main reasons. Number one is that the qi at the qi at the temple is very strong. Okay, so when you bring the kids into that field, like you go into that field, your qi will naturally flow stronger itself. Okay, so it's very good for the kids. They come here, they sleep and they play and whatever. Okay, it's very good for them. It helps them deal better, get rid of a lot of diseases that's bothering them. Okay, this is what we do for you and for your families. Okay, it's worth taking the time to come to the temple and bring the kids here. Okay, we love it. Okay, it's good for them. Okay, they don't need to do anything. They can go and play. They can do the video games, whatever. It doesn't matter. It will be good for them. Okay, and the reason number two is that it's something a little bit more difficult for you to understand. Is that the people here are kind and compassionate. The ones that lack kindness and compassion, they don't last very long in our environment. Eventually, we encourage them to leave. I'll be honest with you. Okay, many people left. The majority of the people left because they lack kindness and compassion in their heart. That's a fact. They could claim it's my failure, whatever, doesn't matter. Bottom line is that they lack kindness and compassion. And you know what? Okay? The kindness and compassion comes from your heart. It's those vibes, you will. The vibes of kindness, the vibes of compassion. Okay? The kids see that. And it's unspoken influence on them. They could go and hang around people. Yes, we are ugly, we're short, some of us are fat, some of us are too skinny and so forth. But the bottom line is that it's the kindness and compassion vibrations from their hearts that will create a very positive influence on the kids. That honestly, I never had before in my prior life, before I became a monk. Okay, my family is overachievers. They said, if you don't get rich, you don't get good grades, you're a failure, and you don't deserve to be here. Okay, okay, and as a result, many of my friends who are overachievers are very successful, very rich, but they lack kindness, compassion. They can't handle their own problems. Okay, they can't handle relationships with their wives, with their children, with their siblings, the mothers, the fathers. So what's the point to me in making a lot of money in your life? Is totally unbalanced. Okay. Yes, the question here. A couple questions. We need to go. Yes, White.
Hi, Master. My name is Fawn. I'm a newer practice for Cham. I have been doing it for 6 weeks. I have a question. I'm amazed by how you heal and help healing those COVID patients. I work in the hospital fields. My question is, how can we help the healthcare medical providers? We have been doing a lot to help them over the pandemic. It's been more than a year. But it's getting harder and harder because people, initially they can mount all the strengths to tough it through, but now people are getting more exhausted, frustrated, and workload is actually getting higher when the pandemic is getting better control and more people are coming over. I have a strong belief I cannot help anybody else until I take good care of myself. That's why I started to practice Chan, because I couldn't reach higher level when I'm doing meditation. But now my question is, I feel it's getting harder and harder to help the medical providers and staffs and doctors. I want to know what else I can do, or any
good.
suggestions.
Yes,
Thank you.
It's a good question. I don't know, because it's not in my business to help medical professions. I'm sorry, I'm not trained to do that. Okay, the truth is that I learn how to help each and every one of you, train you. That our focus on the Chan class is to train you, to teach you how to take care of yourself. Okay, and that's our first priority. And there's another class of people. I call them gladiators. Okay, you are not part of that class, so I don't know how to train you. Okay, because it's a different kind of commitment, different kind of training program. Gladiators are what I call my sanghas. Even within my monks and nuns, not all of them are gladiators. They're not equipped to become gladiators themselves. Okay, those are the ones that will be developed differently, and eventually will be trained to how to help people. Okay, so you see, so you're about 2 classes away from what we do professionally. Okay, and in our case here, we have no choice. Okay, in that it's just my personal viewpoint only, is that the times where we need to step up, whether we asked or not. Okay, in this case, the COVID-19 here, the damage is way too much for the world. So we started in early 2020 last year by protecting one city quietly. Never said anything to anyone. I protected one city only to experiment how to protect a city, a very tiny city up north here. And as a result, they're protected. Nothing happens. Not much happens. Okay, but it's a skill set that's way beyond you. Okay, and that's what we pride ourselves in doing. That we not only train you to be better yourself, but also train ourselves to be able to serve the community. As you might say, it's our ideal. Okay, it's more than just to us, opening a temple or speaking Dharma and all those things. It's more like there's an ideal here that we strive for, that our ancestors, our predecessors, our teachers set the example for us. So we try to live up to those standards. Okay, so in the case here where people, direct answer to your question, these people who they have the COVID-19 fatigue, they need to live. There's also a pandemic of mental illness that we don't have time to talk about. Maybe in future lectures we can talk about that. This COVID-19 here is one pandemic, but there's another one much more dangerous, is the mental illness pandemic, which you have no way of protecting yourself. At least in COVID-19, I can train you. Okay, I can get rid of them for you. Okay, but in the mental illness thing, it's a different way to handle it. Okay, and so it's much more involved. Anyway, so this COVID-19 here, there's not much you can do. There's so much people can put up with. And now, now they have a chance to go out. You can't stop them. That's human nature. So what we do is we have to get rid of the virus for you. Okay? Whether it's in the air or whether it's after they invade your body. So that's what we have to do. Okay? It's a stupid thing to do, you ask me. Okay? Because we spoke like this in 2020 since January of last year. And I was expecting people to laugh their heads off because we are a bunch of fools claiming to do things that totally unproven and is nonsensical. Okay, but we had to do something to appease people, as part of my training to my students as well, to my gladiators, if you will, that they should have faith that it's possible. And we say those things because it's been done before. It's not experimental at all. We did it before, and that's why. So after, in January of last year, after the change happened in Washington, D.C., it's time for us to get involved. So we started taking care of the whole country for a few months. Those experiments to go from one city to one country and see what happens. And yes, it decreased. And then after that, I got too busy and got swamped. Of course, that's called karmic obstructions for the country, in that I don't have time to do that anymore. So I retreated to only a few areas: South Korea, Taiwan, California, and I messed up in New York. Okay, so my disciples are taking care of Korea, of Taiwan. I am keen on keeping California under my thumb so that we're going to recover. We suffered enough. Okay, and so that's what we had to do. We had to take over for you. And that's the way it is. Okay, what you can do to help, in a sense, is you need to meditate to take care of yourself. Okay, and that in itself, you are helping towards improving the morale and the beliefs in the goodness. Okay, because you yourself, when you practice Chan meditation, your heart will become kinder and become more compassionate. That's what this world needs. That to overcome all the pandemics and all these problems. Okay? It takes people to change. And we can't change everyone. We need people like you out there who are willing to take your life more seriously and learn to develop skills to take care of yourself. And that in itself will be very beneficial to society as a whole. You'll benefit your family, your community, and your county, and your neighborhood, and your state, and your country. Hopefully, okay. Depending on how far you can go in developing your skills. Okay. This is not only for professionals like us, but also for lay people. There are lay people who are willing to be trained and to do those things. Absolutely. And in fact, in the future, if my sanghas, my monks and nuns wish to go back to lay life and become a senator, become a president, by all means, I support that as well. My master said that already. He says in the future, he hoped that his disciples become presidents and senators so that they can benefit their community in a different way, okay, than just hiding or in limited way that we are constrained to. That's all, okay? So, yes, in this case here, the short answer is we have to help you, okay? It's nonsense for us because no one believes us, but let me ask you, monks and nuns, you really think that we're wasting our time doing a foolish thing? Not at all. Okay? Because, let me put it this way for you. Let's say you help a small state like California. Okay? The economy recover. Okay? That recovery here, the economic benefits from this state, in this state, that whether people believe or not, are due to the fact that you intervene, that you are helping. It's your blessings. It doesn't matter whether people believe or not, people are aware of it or not. It doesn't matter. Okay? It's like you win the super lotto. If people know that you win the super lotto or not, still the same thing. You still have the money. That's all. Right? So it's the same thing. You're doing all this, okay, because it's beneficial for everyone, including you. So the ideal is not as stupid as it seems to be on the surface. Okay. YouTube question, and we have to go.
Alta D asks, Master, after crossing my legs a long time all day, I get really tired. Like when I go to the temple on weekends, when I leave, I am really tired and not energized like other people are. Is that normal?
Yes, for you, yes. Alta D is very unusual of a person. Very good things people have is the opposite for him. He wants to understand, he wants to know everything. And he never hesitates to ask, to check and make sure that I understand, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, since we have the question thrown out there, let me answer him directly. The reason he feels tired, okay, after long sits is because his body is being cleansed. After you do heavy cleanup of your house, aren't you tired? Same thing. You sit, meditate for half an hour, for an hour, for 2 hours. You're cleansing your body. And that, if it's happening, okay, the majority of the time you will feel tired afterwards. Okay, because it's part of the exhaustion is that you're supposed to get tired if you do the cleanup. Okay, the only exception is when occasionally you enter samadhi. That's when you don't feel tired. Actually, you feel energized. Well, that's not going to happen every single time. That happens once in a blue moon if you're good. Okay, but the grind work is like cleaning the house. You have to scrub, and it's tiring. No substitute for it. And you have to grind it out in order for you, time for lunch, okay? And in order for you to enter samadhi, the grinding there, the tiring there, the getting tired there is a normal state that eventually will help him enter samadhi. Okay? All right. Thank you all. If you have a chance, we invite you to have some lunch with us. Thank you.